As mountain bike season approaches, now is the time to figure out what bike we want to ride. And with that, I've been getting a lot of questions about certain bikes and what my opinion is on them, while simultaneously getting comments about mountain bikes being too expensive and talking about what they can get for the same price as you could get a mountain bike for. And while I do agree, mountain bike prices can get up there, but in my opinion, it's the perception of mountain biking that makes people think that way. Let me explain. If you are a beginner to intermediate rider, you can easily see some of these bike prices and get sticker shock. But if you are fortunate enough to be around some people who are experienced and have been where you are, then mountain bike prices can be more than worth it. Let's take me for example. I got my first mountain bike from Trek, which was the Trek Marlin 6 and was only $600 at the time. I explained to them how I knew nothing about mountain bikes and I was just getting into it. They understood and suggested I try the Trek Marlin 6, which became the bike that got me hooked. The common perception is that you have to have a fancy, expensive bike to have fun or to be accepted by other riders, and it's easy to fall into that mindset in the beginning. Trust me, I was one of them. I know you might be saying to yourself, the Trek Marlin 6 is expensive now. It's not $600 like it used to be. It's like $800 now, which is crazy. But let me stop you right there, because while I do agree the Trek Marlin 6 has gotten way too expensive, I was introduced to this next bike company by my buddy Joe from Trail Features, and I'm so fortunate that he reached out to me and was willing to help me decide moving forward with bikes that I should try out, and he suggested that I try out the Polygon Siskiu T7. This opened up a whole new world for me because I never knew you can get such a highly capable full suspension bike for under $2,000. But leading up to the Polygon T7, I had the Trek Roscoe 7, and shortly after, I upgraded to the Trek Roscoe 8. Now, if you've noticed, every bike I upgrade to is another hardtail. So I was developing a love for hardtails. I like the way they ride, and I like how simple they are. But what got my attention drawn to full suspensions is people saying, oh, you can't ride this place without a full suspension. You can't ride that place without a full suspension. So in my mind, I was thinking I need a full suspension. So that's how I ended up getting the specialized status. And I love the specialized status, but as I rode that bike, it just didn't connect with me like I thought it would, because I feel I was forced into getting a full suspension bike without really feeling like I needed one. So after I sold the specialized status, I kind of went back to riding hardtails again, and then that's when I was introduced to the Polygon Siskiu T7. And I think what really opened my eyes was that was a lot of money to spend on something that I didn't want. The specialized status was a bike that I just saw that fit what I was trying to do, but it didn't really connect with me, and it's not really what I wanted in my heart. And the price was kind of a lot considering what I was trying to get out of a mountain bike. But when I found out about the Polygon Siskiu T7, that felt right because the price wasn't too crazy, and it fit the category of what I was trying to do with the full suspension, which was, I just wanted a little bit of more suspension on the real rocky and techie stuff, but I still wanted to ride my hardtail most of the time. And the D6 allowed me to have that bike while still being able to ride my hardtail mostly. And that for me made me realize that these outrageous prices are not worth it for me because it's not what I'm looking for in a mountain bike. I just want something that can give me that little extra suspension when I need it. But I would rather spend my money on a hardtail, on a nice hardtail. And that was my first experience when I was like, man, these bikes are way too expensive. In my opinion, it's not worth the money for what you get in return if you're just looking to have fun. Now, don't get me wrong, these are some awesome machines, and I have a really nice full suspension bike, the Imminent Onset, but fortunately I didn't have to pay money for that. But if I did have to pay money for it, I probably wouldn't have done it, if I'm being honest, because for what I'm looking to get out of a bike, I don't need to spend that much money. you could be fine with getting a Polygon Siskiu T7 or even a T6 that they just came out with. The Polygon Siskiu T6 is an awesome value for the average rider for sure. But let's say you want to stick with the hardtail without spending a lot of money, then you can go with something like this Polygon Xtrada 5. For only $4.99, you get hydraulic disc brakes, a 2x10 drivetrain, Maxxis tires out of the box, and you also get a tapered head tube so you can upgrade the fork down the road if you want to. If you want to bump it up a little and get something a little bit more capable, you could get something like the Xtrada 6, which has a 1x11 drivetrain, hydraulic disc brakes, Maxxis tire stock, and a 1x11 drivetrain, which is a major difference from the Xtrada 5. Let's say you are ready to step up to a full suspension. The Polygon Siskiu T7 is more than worth the money in my opinion. FYI, this is not a sponsored video. It's just me sharing my experience and what I've been able to do with this bike so far with no limitations. The moment I found out that the Polygon Siskiu T7 was the real deal and that you don't have to spend a ton of money on a bike to ride here, like people say, is when I took it to Trestle Bike Park. So he's riding the Specialized Status, same exact one I had. Pretty sick. I miss this bike sometimes, especially at places like Trestle Downhill. But I got the Polygon T7 out today, so we're gonna see what this can do on the downhill trails. All right, we are doing Green World on the Polygon T7. And it's just crazy how people think that because the bike don't cost $4,000-$5,000 that it's not a good bike. Like, look how much fun you can have on this bike. And this is all stock, by the way. Nothing about this bike is upgraded. So I'm riding a $1,500 full suspension bike on a downhill trail and having a lot of fun. I'm riding this bike right now and everything is, in quotes, entry-level budget. And if this is entry-level budget, then we in a good spot right now, because there's a lot of people that can get on some nice bikes. Now this bike is killing it right now. There's no way that this can be put in a cheap can't do category, because this bike is a beast. Sure, are we still? Show me what that status can do. Make me regret getting rid of it.
That's right. Okay, ready? We'll do nose manual, do whip.
All right. That was chunky. Dude, that's sick.